Rogan Report podcast. Check it out.
All things Joe Rogan by day. Rogan Report podcast by night. All day. All night. Half hour to an hour-ish episodes once a week.
The Rogan Report podcast.
All right, Shane, welcome back to the basement. We are recording with microphones.
That's much better.
Yeah, I mean, we recorded with microphones last time, but it was the microphones built into my computer. So my note here in the table of contents to start off is we have some apologies.
We do.
But we'll go through the rest of the table of contents here before we get to those apologies. Right off the topic, we're going to go through the useless Conservative Party selling off public parks and just how bad they are in general. Stickergate, which is happening. You got a couple updates on the zombie apocalypse.
Yes.
Maybe we'll talk about Bloomberg dropping out of the presidential race and endorsing Biden. That happened today, which is a little bit newsworthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to get into some Rogan reporting, and in which we'll talk about GRE 13. Well, did you listen to 1432, Aubrey De Grey?
I did. That was my other favorite.
That was a good episode.
Yeah.
I would love to live longer than I'm likely going to.
Yeah.
And then 1435, Suzanne Santos and Gary Clark Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, Suzanne of Honey Honey fame. So,
some classic
and Joe
JRE
said
shit.
in the intro to that episode, formerly of Honey Honey. We'll get into that when we talk about that as well.
Yeah.
And then, of course, UFC, we just had a big fight night, 169. We'll kind of recap that a little bit. And then the UFC 248 predictions, which we might want to talk about a little bit. And then you've got a Joe joke, not a authored one.
I didn't admit this Joe joke writing shit is tough.
It is
but
hard.
I did curate a pretty good one, and I've got his name to shout out as well.
Okay.
So where this is not a written joke, this is a curated joke.
A curated. Okay, you found it. You went and seeked it out, and you're going to share it here. Is that, I don't know. Joe might punch you in the face for that, but I'm not.
I don't
I'm
think
not
it's
sure.
illegal. I think I have the name. I have the website. I'm
Okay.
endorsing, not
Okay.
stealing.
Okay.
I think.
You're walking an ethical tightrope that.
Yeah.
that-
I like to walk that tightrope.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's get into it. So, last time I fucked up the recording, my fault, and I apologize, listeners. If you suffered through last week's, it was a short episode. It was on less than half an hour, 28 minutes, I think, and it was recorded through the microphone on my laptop because I just assumed that it would be through the M audio device that we normally use. And when we're listening to it right now, recording, we're hearing the monitor from the mixer, not from the recording. So if we were hearing the monitor from the recording, we would have known, hey, this is totally fucked.
Yeah.
But since we're hearing it from the mixer, it's like sounds normal either way. So it was my fault. I accept responsibility, and I apologize to you, the good listener. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
And if you missed last week's episode, hey, don't worry about it.
There'll be more.
No need to go back and catch up. Yeah. All right. So let's get into right off the topic. The Useless Conservatives Party. My friend Nadine Kelman, she posted that she was calling them that, and so I'm stealing that from her. She's always ranting about how bad Jason Kenney is, and I tend to agree with her, but it did spawn a thought in my head of like, she is like Jason Kenney couldn't do something brilliant and cure cancer without her being angry at him for it.
Fair enough, yeah.
No, he's not going to do that because he's a fuckhead, but he, he can do no right by a lot of people in my friend group. And, I tend to lean that way as well. As soon as I hear about a policy, I'm like, well, that's obviously not good for us. But maybe he is doing some things that are good for us. And maybe, this latest post that really caught my attention is he's planning to close down or reduce operating costs on like 20 of the Alberta public parks.
Yeah.
And possibly sell off some crown land to help with our budgets. And it's only going to save him like $5 million out of an $80 million budget. But the minister that came up with this plan posted that it's we can't continue to spend $85 million on public parks and only see $35 million coming back in.
Yeah.
And so to me, like if I'm running a business and we're paying people to be at these parks and they aren't getting used, then I do agree we need to do something different. Now, maybe we could like make them, I like the idea of making it cheaper for local Albertans, but maybe if we're going to increase costs to stay in the parks, camping costs and fishing costs or whatever.
This is provincial parks, like
provincial parks. Yeah.
Okay.
If we're going to increase costs, because one of the things they said they have to do is increase the cost. Maybe we increase the cost to out of province people, and then we can keep the cost lower for locals.
Haven't they just renovated the shit out of all these parks over like the last 10 years?
Some of them,
like Pigeon Lake, I know has undergone some major extensive
Pigeon Lake
stuff.
was not on the list of parks to be closed or reduced
so
hours at.
They're talking maybe some of the more far flung, less used ones.
Smoky Lake was in there. I read the whole list. Dinosaur Park in
I recall seeing
Drumheller.
Yeah.
The Drumheller area has a campground called Dinosaur Park.
There a few times.
Yeah, and so that's one of the ones where they're going to reduce costs to go there.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Penny, she's in a great local band, Back Porch Swing, and she posted that she thought this summer they would pull their camper up to the ledge grounds and just start camping in the ledge grounds there as a protest against these, because their favorite campground apparently is closing.
Okay.
And I thought, fuck, that's a great idea. What a great protest. Like, one, it is a nice spot to camp. There's trees.
Yeah, how long does it last, though?
You think? I don't know.
I wonder how long before you're forcibly removed and your camper goes to the police.
I mean, that is a risk.
Yeah.
Maybe go with a tent
fight
first.
for the cause, I guess. But I would hate to see a loser camper. That's all.
Before you back your $70,000 RV in there, maybe take a tent and pilot it first. Pilot the program.
Yeah.
But I do think that if they're closing, it's a relevant way to protest the closing of these parks.
At the right place, obviously, too.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I hope that happens, and let me know.
Yeah.
So
on that topic of Jason Kenney, my cousin has her daughter just last year graduated to be a teacher at the museum, and they're letting go of all their teachers now. The educators, I think they're called, at the Royal Alberta Museum. That was just built here in Edmonton.
Was she, does she have like a teaching degree? Does she go?
Yeah, she just finished university.
Yeah, for education.
Yeah. Which is rough.
That is rough.
That's harsh.
Was her goal to get into a school, but then she found this job instead? Or
I think this was her dream, was to work at the university.
Really?
Well, I think she takes archaeology.
Museum?
So, eventually I imagine she wants to go on digs and whatever.
Yeah. And work for a university.
Through the university. Yeah.
Is the museum, was it through the university that she was working at the museum?
No, she's done with the university. Did I say university again?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So
didn't mean to confuse.
She was working at the
museum.
She
was working for the museum.
Right.
Solely and only.
Is the museum government run and government owned?
I would think. Yeah, I think so. I think they all, like, same with
grants.
The Drumheller one, like those are provincial things, I'm pretty sure.
Right, yeah, the provincial museum.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that sucks.
Yeah,
and
it's terrible.
I'm sorry to your, what's her
and
name?
There's more. Her name is...
you can just go first name.
Should I say? Yeah, it's safe enough. Victoria's her name.
Well, Victoria, we are very sorry, and we are with you here. We stand behind you. We stand with you, Victoria.
Yeah.
And we hope that you get another job that is equally satisfying.
From all I see on Facebook, she'll bounce back. She's real smart. She'll find something else great.
All right. So moving on from that, Stickergate. Now, an Alberta oil field company had a decal that basically it showed a man. It was like a silhouette of a man's arms holding the pigtails of a young woman or girl, and basically doing her from behind.
Yeah.
And then their logo was at the bottom. And someone like put the word Greta, kind of like artistically drawn,
like a tramp stamp
in cursive, like a tramp stamp,
a
cursive tramp stamp,
and
then put that out there. And the guy who owns the company, he said that no. Well, first in response, they're like, "You condone the rape of underage girl?" And his response was, "She's not underage.
She's 17."
I'm like, dude,
I think that is still underage.
Yeah, a little bit. It is over the age of consent in Alberta. I believe it's 16. But you're missing the point here completely.
Yeah.
But the thing I didn't understand is, why is it assumed to be rape? Like, could it not be consensual sex? Or do you just assume because it's Greta and an oil field that the only reason they would potentially hook up?
Well, yeah, you'd put those together as rape, I guess.
Yeah.
But the image is a stock image. And the funny thing, actually, there was a thing in the news, the guy that created that stock image was trying to sue for copyright infringement
Suing
over
X-Site?
unauthorized use. Well, no, this other company, Velocity Graphics, is the company that made the decal.
Oh, okay.
And so they've been suspended. X-Site's now said they're not doing anything else with Velocity. So there's a leak somewhere here. Either Velocity Graphics put this out with X-Site's name on it, which seems like a pretty bad idea.
Seems super unlikely.
Yeah.
Like someone at X-Site must have said, hey, make this sticker. This will be cool and fun.
Some really funny Alberta salesman probably like.
Totally.
Yeah.
People.
And he's not taking responsibility because you're getting canceled, bitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what's happening.
You're off.
Yeah.
Enough of you.
Yeah.
It was my friend Mike, actually, that initially shared on his Twitter. Somebody, I think it was a councilwoman from Rocky Mountain House that shared it initially, and then it didn't get much traction. And the next day, my friend Mike, he has a bit of a Twitter following, he shared her tweet, and that is what blew up and kind of exposed the whole thing.
I mean, great PR for your friend.
Yeah.
Unfortunate PR, but
I guess,
gets the name out there, that's for sure.
But
the user views.
Definitely something worth being angry about. Not cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gross.
Not cool at all.
I have a teenage daughter.
Yeah.
Even, I wouldn't really take too lightly to jokes. But the fucked up thing is the people that think this is funny. Like, and there are the people on my Facebook that are like fucking cheering this thing.
A good many.
It's fucked up, man.
Yeah, a good many people working in the oil field. That's just shocking when you're talking to people. And they're like, "Fuck them. They're wrong. There's no problem. They're trying to ruin our industry, and we're not doing anything wrong. It's all the fault of these snowflakes. Fuck Trudeau.
Fuck that bitch."
Yeah.
What would happen to that poor girl? I wonder if she was left at some well site on a, you know what I mean?
Walking down the street in Fort McMurray
Jesus
at
Christ.
11:30 p.m. on a Saturday night.
Yeah, best day at Alberta.
Not
Seems
good
like a
news.
dangerous, unhealthy spot for you.
But if you do come back again, come visit the podcast. We'd love to have you on.
Yeah, totally.
She responded saying like, "Good, them making these crude stickers just shows that we're winning and we're having an impact."
I saw that too. I love that.
Yeah, that
and
was
she's
a great
so right.
response. That's like what a fucking
and I think
mature response.
What's so fucked up is everyone's missing the absolute point of the whole thing. Her message, first of all, clearly she's just a child and isn't going to change much. Although she is with this message because she's getting people talking.
Yeah, totally.
I don't see what's negative about that.
All right. Do you care about Bloomberg dropping out of the race? Do you know who he is? Fucking billionaire in the States.
Shouldn't have been in the race.
Yeah.
See ya, Bloomberg.
Seems like he was just
way to endorse the other money machine
trying to buy his way
guy.
in.
Fuck
Biden.
Fuck Biden.
Maybe Biden. I hope Bernie wins.
I think they're going to keep him out again. It's going to be Biden versus Trump, and then Trump's going to win.
Yeah.
That's what I see happening.
God, that does seem
dark times, bro.
Does seem like the odds are stacked that
way. But how is it weird that Biden almost seems as bad to me as Trump? Like compared to, I think they're all from the same fucking evil,
cut from the same cloth,
evil swamp. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're all come from the same place.
I don't know.
I mean, Trump's obviously different, but
Bernie or bust. That's my saying.
That's what America needs. I don't know if it'll even help though. Might start a civil war if he gets elected.
That's true. Well, we would have thought Trump would start a civil war, but that clearly didn't. Maybe because the left is more peaceful than the right. I don't know.
Yeah, and then there's also maybe more Trumpites
in
America.
I don't think there is.
I think the major centers are pretty clearly Democratic.
I think they're a vocal minority. I think most people in the States are like, no, we don't really want this guy as our president. He's super embarrassing.
But we want Republicans.
But we want
Republicans.
We're backing. Exactly. I think that's much more common. And I think they maybe are like scared about what Bernie might do policy-wise, and they're less scared of what Trump will do policy-wise.
Yeah.
Even though I think the potential for Trump to do something disastrous is higher.
I mean,
but fiscally, he's going to be, not increasing taxes for businesses, and really, that's the main thing that the 60 billionaires in the States care about.
And clearly, not afraid to start a war, which is also really great for U.S.'s
business
economy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Weak sauce. You want to give us the update on COVID-19 zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting worse. It's getting a lot worse.
Okay, moving on to.
Have you been listening to the news? Like I heard one stat. I don't know if it came actually from the WHO, but it's likely that 75% of the planet's going to catch this fucking thing.
That's not good.
Not everyone dies, but
no, most people won't die.
But even 10%. of 75% is a lot of fucking people, man.
That is.
That's a lot of people.
That would be plague worthy.
Yeah, it's a plague.
You'd call that a plague.
Right now we've got 33, I think, infected people in Canada.
Yeah.
20 some in Ontario, 8 or 9 in BC, and 1 in Quebec. We're still COVID-19 free here in Alberta.
Woo!
Like rats and roaches, we don't have no coronavirus here in
it's
Alberta.
too cold for we.
But like that thing about rats and roaches, it's bullshit. And if there's coronavirus, it's probably already here.
Yeah, probably.
Because there's that 2-week
It's
incubation
just
period.
undetected,
Yeah.
undiagnosed.
Shortages of food around the world. Commerce is affected. Major events are shut down. Like all kinds of shit all over the world.
Sure.
The Louvre was closed. Italy was hit bad. I don't know if you saw anything there. Bunch of deaths.
Yeah.
Their schools are shut down, basically.
Seems to me like Italy has a much older population. Like when I think of Italy, I think of like old people.
Totally.
I don't know why.
All old people.
It just seems
make
like
pasta.
a bunch of old grandpas.
Yeah.
Hey, come and sit on my lap. I tell you a story.
And then, of course, South Korea is just exploding with coronavirus.
Yeah.
I think the highest death ratio has been in Iran. Looks like around 25%
That's
of
not
their
good.
cases are dying.
Yeah.
But that just speaks to probably not the greatest healthcare
Poor
system.
nutrition as well, maybe. Like, I think, well, anytime we talk about any demographic, there's going to be a lot of factors that go into why people will react differently. Good hardy stock here in Alberta, though, so I'm not worried about. I think our percentage will be low.
About Iran, and sort of off topic, but not really. This Islamic revolution that happened back in the 60s.
Yeah.
That fucked that country up so bad. Have you seen some of these pictures of like people back before that? It was basically as westernized as America. It was like an American country over there.
Right.
This Islamic I'm not saying Islam's terrible. I'm not saying it's great either.
Yeah,
But
in this case, it seems to have been terrible.
terrible for their
Iran.
country.
Yeah.
And obviously for their healthcare system, I would imagine they would probably be evolved up to the same point as us, and they clearly aren't,
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Dark.
That is dark.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on into some Rogan reporting.
Yeah.
So, a couple of really good episodes. Let's go chronologically and start talking 1432 Aubrey De Grey.
Sure.
Does he sound like Elon Musk to you?
Yeah, he's got a muskishness
When I
to
was
him.
li-
Yeah.
Yes, well, what I want to do is I want to make everyone live longer, boy.
Yeah.
It kind of has a sort of some Muskian tone to his voice.
How about Joe tried to put an ice cube in his whiskey? I don't have ice cubes in my whiskey.
Yeah. I love that he drinks. He's like, Joe's like, how much do you drink? Like a beer a day? He's like, yeah, a little more. He's like 3, 4 beers? Like, yeah. And like a couple glasses of whiskey? Yeah, that sounds about right. Like
Hang on now.
6 drinks every single day.
You're just saying yes all the time.
Yeah. I feel like he could have gotten a case of beer. Oh, yeah. Sometimes.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. A case that comes in one big giant canister.
I feel
that
like
contains 70 beers.
Super geniuses like that got to do something.
Yeah.
To tame that fucking mind a little bit down.
Yeah, but obviously Joe said he looks even younger than the last time he was in there 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So he's doing something right, and he seems he says genetics is the major role, but seems to be leading a very healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. I don't know, man. People living to 500. You're gonna get some weird fucking people at 500 years old.
Yeah, and his biggest concern is that, like, okay, once we realize that is a possibility for people, how is that going to change the policies and politically, and what kind of revolution will we see? What kind of reaction will we see from the public once we realize that is a likelihood? Because people are going to have to change their insurance policies. They're going to have to change, so much of our world kind of depends on people dying
Kicking it
at some point,
Yeah,
right?
We're going to definitely have to ship people away if that's what happens.
Yeah. So I thought that was fascinating. And I was, you hear about this, but there's a lot of things that you don't think of about what effects. And I'm sure that there's even still, of course, vast effects from people living to 500 that we aren't considering right now.
I bet it makes people grossly selfish because it's so much more to lose now.
I don't know.
At this point, everyone, it's a given. You're going to die.
Yeah.
When that's happened, there's no given anymore.
Yeah.
Even who says 500's the limit once you beat aging. Maybe there is no limit.
Maybe. I mean, obviously there's a limit if you get your head cut off accidentally or intentionally.
The world's going to end up nerfed.
Yeah.
And like people dying would be a huge tragedy.
Yeah. Or unless it's like, I wonder how it'll change people's desire to have children. Because if you have 500 years to do it, there's no longer this, okay, I'm 30, I need to have a baby by the time I'm 40 because otherwise I'm not going to be healthy enough, right?
Yeah.
So it seems like people will be like, oh, I'll wait till I'm 200 to have kids.
Yeah. By the way, Resident Evil starts with anti-aging drugs.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, it could go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Art does imitate life and vice versa.
Yeah.
All right. So great episode. Go listen to that one. And then we also loved 1435, Suzanne Santos and Gary Clark Jr.
Yeah.
They started off with this song Bad Beast that they played live in the studio. And whoa, what a cool song.
And she's got a smoky voice on her, man. I
Yeah.
could listen to her sing all day.
Absolutely. And it just really balances with Gary Clark's guitar playing
Yeah.
so perfectly.
Yeah, that was good,
You know,
man.
I love Ben of Honey Honey.
Mhm.
But you know, he seems like he was much more kind of straight time and like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the combination there, but I think I like the combination of her with Gary Clark even better.
I think she did what she needed to do to get her career
Yeah.
to the next level, probably.
I
Although
wanna-
Honey had like some major call outs from JRE. And like, if you haven't listened to old JRE episodes, Honey's a band that JRE basically pulled out of obscurity and
Yeah,
thrust into the mainstream.
and that was like 4 or 5 years ago
Yeah.
that first Honey episode.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe they put in a good effort and they felt like they weren't getting to the next level beyond where I don't know. I don't
I
understand.
started following them after discovering them on JRE though. Like,
So she said, I don't know when, like Joe said at the end, formerly of Honey.
Mhm.
She said, I don't know when Honey is going to play again, but she didn't say that Honey was officially over forever and done with, and there's never going to be another Honey show.
Yeah.
Do you have any insights into, are they done forever? Or
I don't, but I wish I did. And
What
I have
happened?
a feeling that those two are kind of an item or were.
Sort of, maybe.
Ben and Suzanne, like they
Yeah.
definitely had that chemistry on the show.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So maybe
I
they
don't
had
know.
a falling out, and
If we weren't going to start recording this like so soon today, I might have researched that a little bit because I'd like to know what happened.
Yeah.
And maybe we can update our listeners later as to
I wonder what
the
Ben's
real
doing.
story. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find out, and I want to know what happened, and I want to fix it.
I hope Joe has Ben on soon.
Yeah.
So, it's not fair.
That would be.
You
great.
got to have Dad on if you're having Mom on.
Exactly. Yeah. Have Ben and have him bring like some other amazing
Yeah.
girl that can
Some-
sing.
some super, yeah, totally. I saw Gary. I'm like, who the fuck's
Yeah.
this guy?
He probably brings Madonna on with him.
How dare you bring some other guitar player than Ben?
Yeah. I don't know. I would like to know what happened though, and hopefully they work it out because I would like Honey to come to Edmonton so I can see them at some point.
Yeah.
But I'd like also Suzanne to come with Gary Clark Jr.
It sounds like Suzanne's been having some eye openers and some epiphanies.
Right.
That
It does sound that
Pretty
way.
interesting podcast.
Yeah.
She's talking
changing her life,
simulation theory and
doing like yoga in this last tour she did. She was with Hosier, which is a
Mhm.
great like modern rock band, indie rock band.
Yeah.
And one of the girls in that band is like a yoga teacher, so they were doing yoga every day. And now she said she works out every day and she just likes how she feels.
Yeah.
And 'cause then she doesn't feel guilty for going out and drinking all night.
yeah,
And she's working out too.
She puts them away too.
Yeah,
She's got that puts away a lot of whiskey kind of voice.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm working my way towards that
Yeah.
myself.
I don't think I'll ever get there. I started late, but
What other? Did you have any other notes about?
well, just about the simulation theory itself, that kind of got me thinking a little bit, and how often the world just seems too fucking. Sometimes it just seems too set up, the way
Sure.
it is. I don't know how else to describe it. And Joe actually brought this up, that he thought it was weird that all this shit's happened for him. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it was him doing it.
To me, it makes a ton of sense.
Like he
for,
said, like I think he said he went into a warp or something, into this world where everything's set up for Joe Rogan,
sure, yeah.
basically.
No, I get that. And I really get how anyone with a sort of amazing life might feel that way.
Yeah.
But for like us normies, I'm like, who the fuck wants to run a simulation
I pick
and then
this?
run my life?
Fuck me if I
Like,
did pick
I'm
this.
just- so, yeah. Why do you want to live such a normal fat guy in Canada fucking existence?
Yeah, in
as your
fucking
simulation.
Edmonton,
Yeah.
of all places in Canada, it's like the 10th most recognizable place in
I know.
Canada. Maybe.
I just don't get it. I mean, there's a lot. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of great things in my
Oh,
life.
yeah.
I have a great family.
Yeah.
Things that I love doing. But like, if you're gonna run a simulation, do a simulation with someone who's like way better at skiing than me, or way better at golf, or way better at music than me. Like, I would want to be in a simulation of somebody being successful.
Maybe we're not in your simulation.
I know.
Maybe
but,
we're in Joe's simulation.
Yeah,
and that's
totally.
what you'd be in Joe's. We're just some guys in Canada.
No, but why would we have an existence in Joe's simulation? We wouldn't.
Maybe
Like,
the mere
we would have a theoretical existence, but we wouldn't have our own experience.
maybe
in-
the making of each simulation makes these different
It-
actual universes.
It requires every person to
Yeah.
have their own experience
well, that's fucking
in the simulation.
yeah.
Wow.
That's kind of like the multiverse and the bubble theory,
yeah.
the many worlds.
I mean,
theory.
I know obviously infinity doesn't exclude that from being a possibility, but
Mhm.
I don't know. It just seems so unlikely.
I don't like that idea of infinity anyway.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like a necessary thing.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
obviously too big for a human mind to grab onto, anyways.
Yeah.
So another funny thought I had is maybe back in 2012, the shit did end, and this is everybody living in the next fucking. You know what I mean?
This is the next existence
Yeah.
beyond.
We bubbled out to another bubble, and that's why everything seems
Sure.
so weird in the last
internet
8 years.
The internet was the last day.
How much less weird was 2012 compared to now? We thought
Well,
things were
yeah.
fucked up then. Things
Much
are
less weird.
so normal then compared to now. Like Obama was president. Like,
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong there, and it can't be proven that you are wrong or are right.
yeah,
That's the crazy part about it,
yeah.
about these theories.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. I think that's a good place to kind of put a pin in that part of our discussion.
Yeah, totally.
Should we get into the UFC here?
Sure.
All right. So we just watched the main event from the last card, the fight night. I think it was 169, and
Yeah.
Benavidez versus Figueiredo.
I think you said it right.
Figueiredo. I don't know. One
Yeah, I
of
don't
those
know
things.
about the G's ever when it's Brazil.
Yeah.
They could be H's, they could be R's. I don't know.
Davidson is his first name. Davidson.
That's fucked up.
And Joey. So Joey versus Davidson. It was a knockout in the second round for Davidson. He missed weight, so was not eligible to win. So Joey Benavidez is still officially the flyweight champion, right?
Which is some fucking jacked up shit.
But he got knocked the fuck
he
out.
got knocked the fuck out.
There was an accidental headbutt that
Yeah.
cut the shit out of his forehead. And
Oh,
he
his blood was flowing.
Yeah, there you see a silhouette of blood pouring out of
Oh my
his head when he
God.
got in the replay.
Somebody put a
Um,
cork in that
I
thing.
know.
Jesus Christ.
It's pretty bad. And so he was distracted, I think, by that because you see him like reaching up and touching. He's like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
He knows this is a bad cut. And then while he's kind of thinking about that and not thinking about the fight, Davidson throws just the perfect right hook right square into the jaw.
Right in his mouth, it looked like.
Yeah,
It was a rough one,
It
man.
was, and it just immediately turned off all motor function for Joey Benavidez. He just fell straight back onto his back, and Davidson pounced, and ref stopped it 2 shots in. Could have stopped
Was
it
it
as soon as
2
he.
or was it 5?
I
Like,
think
it
it
seemed
was-
like too many shots, however many it was.
I think it was only 2,
Yeah.
and I mean, you don't want to take any shots once you're already unconscious.
Yeah.
But
I wish
uh,
Dan had got there before he even got to land any ground and pound.
Yeah.
Because he was knocked the fuck out.
yeah, the angle that the camera showed it live was just the perfect angle to see him
Yeah.
fall straight back. So for us, we recognized it immediately, but who knows the angle where Dan was standing, and it takes him a second to process it. Oh shit, he got knocked out.
Yeah.
And then another 2 or 3 seconds to get in between.
Well, think how quick those guys are, and Dan's a big dude.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
the flyweight guys are obviously fast enough to jump on him and land a couple shots. Rest of the card was really great too. We won't go through all the fights, but it was every fight on the main card was finished, and there was 4 KOs, and of the 4 KOs, 3 of the KOs were round 1.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I missed the wrong card, apparently.
And no fight on the main card went past minute 43 of the first round.
Oh, man.
Or the second round, sorry. Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
Good little bit of fights. So the next fight coming up this Saturday, UFC 248. So
Kind of a big one.
yeah, I mean it's big.
I mean, the
There's
main
a few-
event is big.
The main event is big. The rest of the card, we've got Neil Magny and Alex Oliveira not fighting each other, but both fighting on the card in the welterweight division. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
It was supposed to see middleweights Derek Brunson and Edmund Shibanazian.
all I saw was ... after Shabazz.
Shabazian.
I didn't click the thing. So.
I think it's Shabazian
Yeah.
or Shabazian.
Yeah, it's a lot of letters.
Shabazian.
Yeah.
Is how I would say it. And if he doesn't say Shabazian, he should start now.
I would.
Anyways, that whole thing got canceled. I didn't see why.
Bummer for Derek Brunson.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Well, bummer for both guys.
Bummer for us.
I don't know who fucked it up.
Because that was by far the next fight I was looking forward to most outside of the main event.
So, who do you got? Adesanya or Romero?
Man, it is a tough one. I think Adesanya is I think he's more skilled, and so I think it's going to be striking mostly. But that said, Yoel's a beast, and if Yoel connects, there's Adesanya can go out 100%.
He needs to be pretty perfect.
So he's got to mind his P's and Q's.
Yeah.
And roll with punches. I'll make sure I was practicing absorbing punches. I guess I don't know.
You don't want to
Practice
slugfest
blocking.
like he did with Gastelum.
No,
that's for sure.
No.
Because that'll be a problem.
Yeah. So but I think that he knows that he's got people in his corner that are going to be advising him well.
Yeah.
He's a super smart guy. Like,
he's
hearing
fucking
him on,
great
he's-
too.
Yeah.
Let's not forget.
Yeah.
He's where he is for a reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think he takes it.
I think so. I think he gets hurt a little bit. I think he might see some adversity.
Maybe. Yeah.
If Romero wins it, I think it happens pretty early in the fight and by knockout. Because a crazy fucking knee
Like
to
a
the head or
flying
something
knee.
like Weidman.
Yeah. Yoel's so superhero
He's
beast.
still 198 pounds today, I saw in the news. So there's talk of if he
makes weight.
Yeah, and Adesanya doesn't want the fight if he's not allowed to fight for the belt.
Yeah, but you were saying that he would be allowed to fight for the belt
That's
even if
what-
he makes weight.
That's what I read in the
misses
same
weight.
article. So I don't know which would be utter horseshit after watching the fight I just watched. And
Yeah.
this guy didn't win the belt.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope he makes it.
It's going
Maybe.
to be a rough night for both those guys. I
They
feel
say
like.
that muscles are easier to shed weight from than just being fat or
Mhm.
if you're more shredded. And he's got a lot of muscle on him, so maybe he feels he can squeeze the water out of those muscles.
I wonder if it's hard for a 64-year-old guy to cut that much weight still.
Yeah. How old is he? He's 40, right?
They were joking on the last Fight Companion. They kept making the age higher and higher every time they said it.
I think he's 40. I want to say 40.
And that's what he's claiming is 40 or 41 or
Yeah.
42 or something like that.
With his voice, too, he sounds like no, forget Jesus. Give me my walker.
It's so fucking funny, man.
Sounds old.
I don't even care if he loses. He's not going anywhere, man. He's a UFC favorite.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. I love
But-
that guy.
I mean, eventually he's going to not want to fight anymore.
Yeah.
He's going to get tired of it.
I wonder if he's made a lot of money.
Well, he was going to have a lawsuit. Do you know anything about how that turned out?
No?
He was trying to sue the UFC or something.
Oh, he did win a lawsuit.
because of his last fight with.
He did.
He won the lawsuit.
He won a lawsuit.
They settled it.
But I think it was Schaub was saying that he's not going to see a lot of it. Like a lot of it was going to the lawyer and taxes and shit. So it was like, it's
Shitty.
kind of like winning a fight, that kind of
Okay.
money.
Okay,
But-
well, better than not having it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's made a lot of money, but I doubt he's balling.
But it didn't overturn the decision. I forget kind of what the lawsuit
I'd have to
was
go
about.
back on it. I remember that he won something. I don't even remember from what, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember it was because the UFC gave the. I thought it was because UFC gave the decision to the fucking Australian guy.
Well, they shouldn't have.
Yeah,
Because, that's who Adesanya should have been fighting for the belt, was Romero.
right.
In my opinion, I think he beat the Australian guy twice.
What's his name?
Fucking, who cares at this point, right? No, it's Robert Whittaker.
Robert Whittaker. I
no,
like
he's
Robert
a
Whittaker.
good fighter too.
Yeah, I like him.
Romero beat the shit out of him.
That's true. Yeah,
Bad.
yeah, that should have definitely been Romero's fight.
Yeah,
I think that's what the lawsuit was about, wasn't it? Wasn't it about that
Maybe.
decision?
maybe.
Something to do with that fight, anyways. Regardless,
I don't believe in UFC history they've ever overturned a fight.
no, I don't think so either.
So
And there's been so many bad examples of the fights that should have been overturned.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something they should start doing.
yeah, the whole system seems fucked
don't
up.
know.
How does the UFC not have power?
How do they not put more judges in? I don't like the amount that Joe talks about the reform needed there. Like I understand, okay, don't want to make more weight classes. They have an opinion on that. Joe has an opinion, hard to say who's right, but we can definitely say who's right with this judging problem.
I think so.
There's a massive problem. It was amplified by those fights in Texas.
Yeah.
And I thought after that we would see immediate reform. I was like, okay, well, the good thing, this sucks for these fighters that are getting these horrific decisions, but at least this will force the issue where we'll see change.
Yeah.
And then we didn't.
No.
So I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, there's been corrupt judges in boxing for as long as boxing's been around, so I imagine this doesn't get better. It gets probably worse.
Maybe.
Over the years, I don't know.
It
UFC is
seems-
pretty young still, so
That's true.
we could fix it now.
It does seem less corrupt than boxing.
Yeah, totally.
But there is ways to even make it less and less corrupt. Put the decision into more people's hands.
Did you catch that Deontay and Tyson Fury fight?
I watched the whole thing.
Good
It's
Jesus.
shocking, and I love it. And I love what Joe's been talking about it too.
Yeah.
Since, like, he's saying what he's going to do, and no one believed him. And Deontay even said it himself. He's like, "You're not going to do that, man. Fuck you."
Dude, he came out looking so thick.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
What do you think about
shit.
Deontay saying that it was that 40-pound
The shredder costume?
Poor guy.
Well,
Seems
I
like an
mean,
excuse, but
Maybe. But why'd you wear it?
yeah, whether it was an excuse or whether that's actually what happened and it was just a giant mistake that you
If
made.
Tyson came out, he was tired from his cape, that'd be Tyson's fault.
I know, exactly.
Oh, man.
Uh,
That outfit was, they were both kind of stupid, but
yeah, totally being carried out. I would
By
not
hot
want to be
chicks.
carried out.
they looked like
on
they were struggling too.
Yeah.
That way.
Of course.
The one in the front
He's
was
300
all
pounds.
fucking. Yeah, what is that divided by? What was there? 4 girls or
I
6?
think there were 6.
Okay, well that's a little better,
Um,
but still.
Yeah, it's still.
And he's standing up
50
and walking
pounds
around
each.
on the thing.
there
It's on
must-
a raft, bro.
Yeah. I don't know.
Jesus.
So good fight though.
Oh,
And
it's so
I'm
entertaining.
amped. I'm glad it went that way. I like Tyson Fury a lot. King of the
Yeah.
Gypsies, and
I think that happened. They got a rubber match, hey? That was in the clause.
yeah,
Whoever wins, they're fighting again.
right. So
So to me, it's already 2 wins for Tyson, even though he did get killed in the 12th round in the first fight.
yeah, he got
got up.
unkilled immediately.
Yeah.
I agree.
Every other round was Tyson's.
But they were saying that Tyson would likely fight
Joshua.
Joshua next.
That's the fight.
Yeah.
How
So
about-
if this
I'm
rubber
into
match
boxing
comes, I don't
since
know when.
Tyson Fury came around.
Yeah,
That's
he was,
weird.
He was great on Rogan's podcast. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that episode.
Actually, I'd have to credit that to Connor and Floyd, to be honest. That got me watching boxing.
Okay, so that takes us to the end of our UFC recap.
Yeah.
Do you want? Let's hear your Joe joke. I'm excited here.
Okay. Now, this is, and I'm sorry, Pete, if I fuck your name up here, but it's
Okay.
Pete Stegemeyer. And I found this joke on jokeblogger.com.
Okay.
No, that's, I hope I don't need to spell that out for you.
Nope.
All right. Malcolm Gladwell was recently on the JRE, and we're pretty sure the pseudo-intellectual circle jerk contained in that ep is the closest mankind will ever get to perpetual motion.
That requires a lot
Jokes
of
are
thinking.
always better when you stutter 3 of the words in it.
Yeah, that was a bad
That
read.
was terrible.
Did you practice that in the mirror before
Fuck
coming
no.
over here?
Fuck no.
Maybe you should
I
have.
wrote that on the paper right before I came over.
Okay.
I meant to write one this week. I don't know. I'm busy these days, man. I'm painting from dawn to dusk.
Yeah.
I've
good.
got a lot of paintings to get out for this show.
You should definitely focus on painting.
It's probably gonna.
Clearly comedy is not the way for you to go.
That's what I'm thinking. I can't even curate a good joke.
Yeah, let me try.
I swear it looked funny when I read it on the thing.
I get what you're saying about it. All right. Malcolm Gladwell was on the JRE, and we're pretty sure the pseudo-intellectual circle jerk contained in that episode is the closest mankind will ever get to perpetual motion.
Yes, that's way better. It's still not very
It's
funny.
still wordy. It's like
it's
I understand what the joke is conveying, but it's just like, yeah,
there's no punchline.
there's
Is there?
too much in there. It's a kind of a funny sentiment, but it's
Yeah,
it's not.
it's more of a funny sentiment than a joke.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay,
All right, well,
I'll do
thanks,
better
Jeff.
next time, or worse.
All right, I don't have a Joe joke. I was just excited for yours.
Well,
So
Yeah.
I guess we'll end it there. Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. And we're going to try to, again, like I said, turn up the quantity here on these podcasts. Apologies again for the last episode. But thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah.
And maybe some future sponsors coming. We'll talk about that more later.
Rate and review us on iTunes.
Rate and review us on
Spotify,
iTunes.
all those
That's
places.
the most important thing.
Yeah.
And maybe just like go to our, wherever you get our show and just download it multiple times and put it on repeat on Spotify and just let it play through the night at your house and stuff. And,
Yeah, that'd be beneficial.
and yeah, even if you don't listen, just turn it on, turn the volume down, hit repeat. And yeah, we need lots of views in order to get these good sponsors.
And if you're out there listening, you want us to do a read, we'll do a read.
Yeah, I'll do the read.
We're actually looking into reads.
Yeah,
And yeah, probably Rubes will do the reads.
yeah. We're not sure
Unless
if Shane
it's a
knows
bit
how
of a
to
skit.
read.
Unless we're doing it as a funny skit.
All right. Thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you again soon.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Joe Rogan's unique perspective is teaching us all how to best live. And we will attempt to recap all of his weekly podcasts. Now show your support and download the Rogan Report. The Rogan